Major General Robert Clive, also known as Clive of India, Commander-in-Chief of British India, was a British officer who established the military and political supremacy of the East India Company in Bengal in 1757. He is credited with securing India and the wealth that followed for the British Crown. Together with Warren Hastings, he was one of the key early figures in the creation of British India. Clive was one of the most controversial figures in all British military history. His achievements included establishing control over much of India and laying the foundation of the entire British Raj. Modern historians have criticized him for atrocities, for high taxes, and for the forced cultivation of crops, which aggravated famines. However, historian Niraj C. Chaudhary argues that when Clive first arrived, India was dominated by the Mughals, by the destructiveness of the Marathas and Afghans, and by the greed of the high caste Hindus. He argues that Clive alleviated these evils. Robert Clive was born at Styke, near Market Drayton in Shropshire, on 29 September 1725 to Richard Clive and Rebecca Gaskell Clive. Robert was their eldest son of 13 children. He had 7 sisters and 5 brothers, 6 of whom died in infancy. Early in 1756, in June, Clive received news that the new Nawab of Bengal, Siraj-ud-Dowlah, had attacked the English at Nagerbazar, and shortly afterwards, on 28 June, he had taken the fort at Calcutta. By Christmas 1756, as no response had been received to diplomatic letters to the Nawab, Admiral Charles Watson and Clive were dispatched to attack the Nawab's army and remove him from Calcutta by force. Their first target was the fortress of Bajbaj, which was quickly taken with minimal British casualties. Shortly afterwards, on 2nd January 1757, Calcutta itself was taken with similar ease. In the middle of June, Clive began his march from Chandannagar to Murshidabad. On 21st June 1757, Clive arrived on the bank opposite Plassey. He won the Battle of Plassey in assistance with Mirzapur, one of Nawab's comrades, who became a traitor to his master. Clive lost hardly any European troops. In all, 22 sepoys were killed and 50 wounded. While it established British military supremacy in Bengal, it did not secure the East India Company's control over Upper India, as is sometimes claimed. That came only 7 years later in 1764 at the Battle of Buxar, where Sir Hector Munro defeated the combined forces of the Mughal Emperor and the Nawab of Awadh in a much more closely fought encounter. On 22nd November 1774, Clive died, aged 49, at his Berkeley Square home in London. There was no inquest on his death, and it was variously alleged he had stabbed himself or cut his throat with a penknife or taken an overdose of opium, while a few newspapers reported his death as due to an apoplectic fit or stroke. Clive was awarded an Irish peerage in 1762, being created Baron Clive of Plassey. Country Clare. He bought lands in County Limerick and County Clare, Ireland, naming part of his lands near Limerick city, Plassey. Following Irish independence, these lands became state property. In the 1970s, a technical college, which later became the University of Limerick, was built at Plassey.
The house of Robert Clive in Kolkata, formerly known as Calcutta, has almost come to its end of life, but it's still standing with a strong, glorious story behind it. The house, known as Clive House, or more popularly Barakot, is also known as one of the oldest buildings of Calcutta, constructed before the invasion of Calcutta. Constructed over Mount, the ground floor of this strongly built building perhaps served the purpose of a Dutch or Portuguese warehouse. After the Battle of Plassey, June 1757, Clive reconstructed this area, its upper story colonial style of architecture, and used this as a country house. The entire area of this building is 4,800 square meters with the ground in front of it. As per local information, there was a tunnel way from this building to Dumdum cantonment, British soldiers' camp, which has been lost and not found after declared it an archaeological site by Government of India. We will see you soon with another pride of our very own Kolkata.